Imagine your half-brothers threatening to sue you over money they're not even entitled to, dragging your name through the mud online. That's what happened to me when I tried to share my inheritance fairly. But when a long-lost sibling and a shocking family secret came to light, their greedy plan blew up in their faces. Stick around for a revenge story that'll leave you stunned. If you've ever dealt with entitled family members who think they deserve everything, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and get ready for a Reddit revenge story that's equal parts drama and justice. Let's dive into this wild ride. Let me set the scene. I'm 25, a woman who's worked hard to build a stable life. When I was 3, my grandparents passed away, leaving me a savings account with a hefty $300,000 to be accessed when I turned 21. They left a letter saying they wanted me to share it fairly with any Smith-Jones children, meaning full siblings from my dad, a Smith, and my mom, a Jones. Legally, the money was mine to distribute as I saw fit, but I never had full siblings. Instead, I have 2 half-brothers, Mac and Joe Smith, from my dad and his second wife, my stepmom. They're 19 and 21, and while we're not super close, I've always seen them as family. To me, fair meant splitting the money equally. $100,000 each for me, Joe, and Mac, with any leftover to be divided when Mac turned 21. When I hit 21, I was thrilled to have this financial boost. Dad suggested I buy a house with my share, and I found the perfect place for $130,000. Problem was, I couldn't get a mortgage, so Dad said, why not borrow $30,000 from the account? You can pay it back before your brothers need it. It made sense. I took the money, bought my dream home, and started repaying the account monthly. By now, the account should have had $208,000, but with my withdrawals and repayments, it's at $195,000. I still owe $13,000, but I plan to have it all back before Mac's 21st birthday dot. Everything was fine until Joe turned 21 recently. I started transferring his $100,000, giving him $50,000 in installments because that's how he wanted it. But when he checked the account, he noticed it was short. I explained honestly I'd borrowed $30,000 for my house but was repaying it, and I'd have the full amount restored in 2 years before Mac's turn. My voice was calm, but my stomach twisted. I didn't expect what came next. Joe told Mac, and suddenly both brothers turned on me. Their texts flooded my phone, accusing me of stealing their money. They demanded I repay the $13,000 immediately, plus $3,000 in interest. They claimed they would have earned $16,000 total, due in 6 months. I stood in my kitchen, my hands gripping the counter, feeling my heart race. Stealing? I'm the one who chose to share it with them. I agreed to repay it, but insisted on my 2-year timeline. They weren't having it. A few days later, they sent me a contract. I thought we were on the same page, but when I read it, my jaw dropped. It demanded full repayment in 6 months, not 2 years. I refused to sign, my hands shaking as I set the paper down. That's when they escalated. I got an email clearly written by them, full of typos threatening to sue me for the $16,000, plus the entire account balance, and damages for emotional distress. My chest tightened, anger mixing with disbelief. They're trying to take everything. I was done playing nice. They'd crossed the line, and I wasn't going to let them bully me. Legally, they had no claim to the money. My grandparents' letter was clear, and a solicitor confirmed it. I fired back an email, my fingers flying over the keyboard. You were never entitled to any of it. I shared because I thought it was fair, but with your threats, the $50,000 Joe's gotten is all you're getting. I hit send, my heart pounding. Then I blocked their numbers. The silence was deafening, but it felt right. That's when they took it public. Joe and Mac blasted me on social media, posting on family group chats and public pages, claiming I was screwing them out of their inheritance. My phone buzzed nonstop, cousins, aunts, even distant relatives messaging me, calling me greedy. Selfish. I'd scroll through the posts, my eyes burning with tears, feeling like the villain in my own family. How did this become my fault? Then, out of the blue, a message changed everything. A guy named Chris Smith, 27, reached out. "I'm your half-brother," he wrote. My breath caught. He sent photos of him as a kid with our dad, our grandparents, even me. He revealed he had his own $150,000 account from our grandparents, with a letter saying it was for Dad's illegitimate children. Chris had been looking for me, and he only found me because Dad shared Joe's post online. Then came the bombshell. We have another half-sibling, an 18-year-old, also from Dad's affairs. My head spun. Dad had more secrets? Chris and I met with a solicitor to confirm everything. The accounts were airtight. My fund was for Smith-Jones kids, meaning me and any full siblings. Chris's fund was for Dad's illegitimate children, like him and our other half-sibling. Joe and Mac, as Dad's legitimate kids with stepmom, had no claim to either. Armed with this, I drafted a letter to Joe and Mac. My hands were steady as I wrote, "Back off. Stop posting about me online. The $50,000 Joe got is all you're getting. Push this and you'll regret it." I sent it, certified mail, and waited out the same day they got the letter. Chris got a desperate message from Dad, begging him to share his fund with Joe and Mac. Chris shut him down and told Dad we'd connected. I called Joe and Mac, my voice calm but firm, and dropped the truth. "You've got a half-brother, Chris, and another half-sibling you didn't know about. Grandparents set up separate funds for a reason." I could hear the shock in their silence. Joe stammered, "What?" Mac didn't say a word. Joe and Mac's greedy plan imploded. They thought they could bully me into handing over $16,000 and more, but instead, they lost $158,000, the $100,000. Mac would have gotten, and the rest of Joe's share, their social media campaign backfired, exposing Dad's secrets to the whole family. Stepmom, blindsided by the news of Chris and our 18-year-old. Half-sibling born after she married Dad, kicked him out. He's been living in a hotel, begging me to reconsider, but I'm done. Their house is in chaos. Joe's hoarding his $50,000, refusing to share with Mac, who's furious at both him and me. Their threats cost them everything: money, trust, and maybe even their parents' marriage. Meanwhile, I'm holding firm, my head high, knowing I did what was right. Greed can blind you, but the truth always comes out. Joe and Mac thought they could strong-arm me, but they underestimated me and our grandparents' foresight. Now they're facing the consequences, and I'm moving forward with the family I choose, Chris and my sister. What would you do with a family like this? If this story gave you that sweet taste of karma, smash that like button and tell me in the comments. How would you handle entitled siblings like Joe and Mac? Subscribe and hit the bell for more Reddit revenge stories that'll keep you hooked. See you in the next one.